UFC 262 is officially in the past, and from it, though the card was littered with an interesting array of bangers, prospects, and generally interesting outcomes, the promotion's lightweight division was certainly left most affected by the night's worth of action. And while a video on Beneil Dariush's dominant victory over Tony Ferguson is set to follow, for this piece I'm going to home in on the thrilling lightweight title battle between Michael Chandler and the newly crowned champion Charles Oliveira. All in all, it was an excellent contest, an evenly matched pairing of two completely different skill sets and body types, a fight where each man had his moments to show us exactly why he is considered among the greatest lightweights on the planet. Watching it live, the fight seemed like it was over as soon as it started, as Chandler's early success quickly made way for a stunning finishing sequence from Do Bronx, ending the fight in the earliest stages of the second round. So what exactly went down and what did we learn? Well, win, lose or draw, it should be stated that Michael Chandler is about as real as it gets. An excellent talent and addition to this stacked lightweight title picture. I enjoyed his darting movement, his pressure, his daring attempts to play in the guard of the fearsome submission artist that lay beneath him. And after a late barrage in the first round, it really did look as though Charles was in something of a tough spot. But yeah, just to give him his moment in the spotlight, I was hugely impressed with Michael Chandler and the fight he brought to Oliveira while things were going his way. If I had any questions or reservations about his ability to compete at the highest level after his run in Bellator, I've at the very least been convinced of his merits as a real pain in the ass for any of these top lightweight contenders. Whether he can rebound or not, we'll eventually find out. But for now, Michael Chandler did not embarrass himself, not even slightly. But with that out of the way, let's speak about Charles Oliveira and this historic win. I've given props to Oliveira in the past for shedding the label that we all gave him due to his earlier performances in the UFC. After beating Tony Ferguson with such an unwavering level of control and patience, I was happy to report that we didn't see the same wildness, the same recklessness that had defined some of his most brutal defeats. For at one point in time, Oliveira was the type of fighter who, despite his clear talent, would make a rash or misguided decision, falling into his old habits, furthering our perception of him as untrustworthy in those pivotal moments. And through his cerebral showing against Ferguson, I think a lot of us learned a valuable lesson about the narratives we draw around these fighters, about how some of us forget just how much these people can change, both as martial artists and as overall competitors. But with his reputation at an all-time high moving into this title bout, Charles once again managed to prove his overall evolution, overcoming perhaps the single biggest criticism of him and his makeup as a fighter. That was a tough first round by any metric, a showing from Chandler that saw him nullify the submission attempts of the single most successful submission artist the UFC has ever known. And on the feet, he was able to make his physicality the difference, battering his opponent with some hard shots and at one point, putting some serious hurt on him on his way to a brief knockdown. But despite this, Oliveira, who was once seen as a fighter who could be broken under pressure, persevered, fought through it, and eventually turned the tide. If you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel now to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads, before leaving a comment to let YouTube's algorithms know that we're fast becoming one of the best MMA channels on the platform. Just as Daniel Cormier said in the commentary booth, we hadn't seen Charles tested to this degree during his ongoing win streak at 155 pounds, and though we could have assumed that he had grown in confidence in his mettle, his ability to deal with adversity, you really do have to see these things in play before you can be sure. So with that, Charles Oliveira rebranded himself, leaving the octagon as a UFC champion and now the most successful finisher in the promotion's history, passing Donald Cerrone. And in many ways, it has been made perfectly clear to us that this man has exceeded our expectations. Now, of course, lightweight is in a very strange place right now. With the absence of Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undeniable best 155-pound fighter of all time, it was hard to know just how it would feel to crown a new champion. On top of that, Dustin Poirier, who is in many people's eyes the best active lightweight on the planet, is still a looming presence at the top of the division. And look, I'm not trying to take away from Charles's position as champion. He well and truly earned it, both as a result of his win on Saturday night, but also through the strength of his resume overall. But I can imagine that there are legions of fans out there who are not yet fully convinced. Perhaps some of you will never accept another champion while Khabib is still technically in prime fighting shape. Perhaps there are others among you who will need to see him take on the winner of Poirier-McGregor 3 to truly get a sense of closure after the hasty booking of Chandler for what was seen by some as a premature title shot. But for me, I suppose I'm not too worried about all of that. We will get our resolution in time. For now, watching this exceptional athlete make good on his potential will be enough to keep me satisfied for at least a few months more. Honestly though, I do believe that Dustin Poirier is the single best lightweight on the planet not named Khabib Nurmagomedov. And though he passed up on the title shot for understandable reasons, namely a boatload of cash and exposure, I think that if it's meant to be, then this lightweight mess will resolve itself over the course of the coming months. I suppose all I can say now is congratulations to Charles Oliveira. That was not an easy road to the title by any means. After over a decade in the UFC, the chances of making the type of title run he did decreased by the year, so to see him overcome his clear weaknesses and tie his game together like that was truly remarkable. The next few months of lightweight are just going to be a lot of fun though, that's for sure. But what do you think of Charles Oliveira as a potential long-term custodian of the lightweight crown? And how do you see his fellow lightweight contenders as threats to him, the likes of Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, Justin Gaethje, and now Beneil Dariush? Do let us know in the comments section below. We always do love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment before subscribing to the channel so you can stay up to date with all of our latest uploads. Thanks for watching.